All right, well, it is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And you know, it's kind of sad, but every day should be Mother's Day, huh? Don't we all love our mamas? Listen, we have a great project here for you, and it is about the idea of giving a mom a present that you don't go to the store and buy, but you go back to the house and you build. All right, so what we have is a project here. We transformed a bathroom, and the most amazing part of this is, it was a real small part of the bathroom that we fixed up, but what happened to the rest of the family, it's just amazing what transformed in that home after that renovation happened. So stay tuned, we're gonna show you all about that. I haven't run into a house yet that had square walls. Love working on these old homes. These are my bread and butter. I gotta say, this floor is awfully comfortable. Wow. Wow, that's actually a rain cloud.
We had all this space?
The whole ground is heaving. Perfect, every time. We're here on a little rescue mission today. We got a good friend of the family who's been saving up some money to renovate her bathroom. Unfortunately, she's not quite prepared to take on the whole thing today, but she desperately needs a new tub and tub surround. So we're here to help her out, and we're going to show you all the little things that you need to know so you can do this project yourself as well. All right, so this is the project today. And you can see why we're here. This is extreme. And then, unfortunately, no matter how bad this looks, this is more common than you might think. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a demo and rebuild, new tub surround, how to waterproof it, how to do all the plumbing, and what kind of dollars it takes to do that, and what you can expect to pay a professional to do it for you. So before we tackle this project, one thing we have to do, rule number one, if you're touching any plumbing or plumbing fixture, turn off the water supply to the house. You might think, I've got a shut-off valve, I'm safe, but I've been in situations where we just moved something and a water supply line in the wall burst under pressure because it wasn't installed properly. Never take a chance with your water supply. So in every home that I've been in except for one, which is very unique, the water shutoff valve is on the front wall of the house, and it's right next to the sewer and all those pipes that are heading towards the street. So when you go down in the basement, a lot of times they're in a really awkward, tricky spot. Not a big surprise. So we just reach in, grab the valve, crank it clockwise. So you turn it off. After that, we go and open a tap, drain the water out of the lines, and then we're always safe to do any plumbing without any risk of causing serious damage to the home. So rule number one, now that we have the water off, we have to drain all the lines in the house to drop that water level in the pipes, the water supply, below the area where we're gonna have surprises. So on the way up here, we open up the kitchen faucet, hot and cold, and now we're just gonna open up these lines. You see none of the water's coming out, the air is rushing in, the water's all emptying out of the line. So now we're good to go. So when you're doing a demolition, it's not like on TV. What you wanna do is you wanna uninstall in the reverse order of the installation. Okay, so inside we have a little set screw. This holds the handle on. This one's seized on pretty good, but it's made of solid brass. So we're using the screwdriver to create a dent. Drive that nut around.
It's a bit of a workout there, Joe.
Keeps you in shape. There we go. There's the ugly beast right there. So this is all compression fittings. There we go. So this house was built in 1983. It's 2016 right now. So you can see the solid brass fixtures last a long, long time, which is why it's important when you're doing something that you're expecting to last a long time to invest money in good quality fixtures. Unfortunately, a lot of things available on the market today for low value are actually plastic with chrome coverings, not brass. So time to remove the waste and overflow. Of course, things back in the 80s, a lot of slot screws. Wow. Nothing wants to come off easier. We broke the screw instead of removed it. Same effect. Now the reason we have to remove the waste and overflow is because this plumbing if we just yank the tub out without disconnecting it, we're putting a lot of pressure on the drain system. And we might cause a break somewhere that's going to increase the amount of work that we have to do. So, although it may seem like a lot of work now, why not just take a hammer to it like on TV? There is a good reason not to. Every drain has got a cross inside the drain, and it's designed so that you can put in, it's got threaded here, you can put in your stopper or plunger. But this is a tub removal system. And you can buy these at the hardware store. You basically put your screw through the hole and it gives you lots of torque. You can unthread it. Or, if you just got a couple of good sized screwdrivers, you can put them in, cross the bars, and you get the torque. And you can do it this way. So now we're gonna remove the shower head. Wow, this one here is siliconed on with the trim. Okay, hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll just be able to turn the arm. Yep, we got that. If that doesn't work because it's too seized, take a wrench and you can take the shower head fixture off. Okay. And then you can put your long screwdriver in the hole and get the extra torque. It's a lever, so the further you are away from it, the more power you have. And you just give it a nice turn like that. So now we have to take a look at this wall surround, how to remove it without creating excessive damage to the room that requires a lot of rework. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to attempt to remove the tile surround and then reinstall the new tile right to the point where the paint is finished. If this was TV, I'd be pulling out my sledgehammer right now, but the reality is ceramic tile or porcelain tile, when you break it, is incredibly dangerous. So the less demolition you do, the better. It's also easier to remove and easier to clean up. Cut right through to that paper. The goal here is to make this bathroom functional and hopefully a lot cuter by the time we're done. So this might require a little bit of finesse and a little bit of luck. So now we see evidence of how this was built. This is very traditional. It's according to the building code here in this province of Ontario. It's just drywall right through the whole shower. This is the residue of a glue. This is not a cement. And there's nothing in here that's waterproof. So any of the water that goes through the grout, which is porous, will be drawn in through the glue into this drywall. And this is why it starts molding wherever you get water pouring down the wall over time. Now this is a little bit more exciting for all of you people who are big fans of TV. What we're gonna do is we're gonna smash a hole in the tile right through the wall, carry that all the way over to here. Then we're gonna cut the wallboard with a knife and remove this whole panel as one piece. So just jiggling. Remember, we're not taking off something that's really strong. The drywall is only attached with screws or nails. So if you jiggle the wall, it'll pull the head through the back material. And then it'll open like a door. A little bit of downward pressure. Break that seal in the corner. There's your piece. Panel number 2. So this is a little disappointing. This home was built with a very thin plastic. 1980s they had Super 6, which is the current standard of plastic, but it wasn't part of the code. So this is actually a quite thin vapor barrier, and it's taken on a little bit of damage. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace this with a new vapor barrier, use a tuck tape and tie it in later. Straight out to the garbage. What you see on the back of the plastic here, all this black, it's actually surface mold on the plastic. It's evidence of the water damage. We save this panel. Let's take a look at what's behind your shower. It's not that bad, but the problem is it's right where the silicone joint is. And so every couple of months you got to come along with the bleach and clean it up. you're not solving the problem, you're just removing, you know, the aesthetic issue. So this might be better done by 2 people unless you're confident you can carry the approximately 60 or 70 pounds that I'm pulling off the wall here. 1 piece. So interesting point here, the wall we removed from here was regular drywall. The wall from the back wall was a water resistant green board when it first came out. And that water resistant board is also the one that molded. So when you're doing this kind of renovation, keep in mind that just because something is water resistant doesn't mean it's waterproof. And just because something's mold resistant doesn't mean it's mold proof. Just means you'll get the same ugly mess, just takes a little longer to get there. So it's a traditional steel tub. It's installed just by gravity and it has a little metal clip that might be attached to the frame. So once the plumbing is disconnected, it comes out quite easily. So our tub is positioned in such a way with this really old style of faucet that we can't roll it out without causing major damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut back the water supply lines to the point where this is out of our way so we can lift the tub and roll it in the position that it's in. Done. There we go. So now all we have to do is just lift this out. Because I have a 16-inch tub and a cavity here that's nice and big, I can just wiggle right out through the hole. What we're using to convert from copper to PEX is a shark bite connector. And this is what I was mentioning, it's like a Chinese finger puzzle. So the more pressure is on, you know, instilled in this connection, the stronger it holds. And clean your fitting. If you don't have a nice smooth connection, it will leak. You're gonna set it on there, and then you just give it a push. Now that's locked in place. I'm gonna set it on, nice little twist, and a push. Locked in place. Now we're gonna take our PEX and push. Now, most fittings are locked in place, they're not ever gonna come off. This is the claim, so today we're gonna find out if it's true. Basically what we have here is there's water intake that are designed for PEX. That reduces the amount of work that we have to do. And then there's 2 outs. One is for the tub, and one goes to the shower head. Crimp them together. Take our elbow. As you can see, the advantages to all of this are really quite obvious. It's rather quick. And when I'm done crimping this together, we're finished with the water supply and we can test it right away. So as you can see, we have a brand new shower valve with a tub spout and a shower head spout. All plastic pipes, crimp rings, brass fittings, shark bite connection. And this has enabled us to convert from an old system to a brand new system without the use of any torch or soldering or any special skills. No need to hire a licensed plumber. And we're good to go. The advantage of this system is that it's safe, it holds the water back, and anybody can do this. So let's just take a quick look at some of the finer points of the 1980s construction technique. We have a standard subfloor, chipboard, tongue groove. That's normal. These are exterior walls, looks like 2x6, so you probably have an R20 insulation. You can see the wonderful job the vapor barrier is doing here. Basically this is just nailed over top of the framing for the tub support, but here's the plastic. We didn't cut it. This is installed like this. Just junk all the way around. There's no seal, there's no acoustic seal, there's no stapling, just hung. Not much moisture barrier going on at all, which is why you can see how much air movement there is, why the insulation is going gray. That's not mold, that's just because there's dirt and there's air pulling the dirt around. So whenever you see that, we're gonna wanna get rid of all that. This is garbage. It's got mold spores on the plastic surface now. All this insulation around the piping is just designed to keep the noise down when the tub is draining. That's all that is. Sometimes you'd even see people take the time to insulate around the tub before they install it. You know, if you have access to the cavities, that's nice because steel would lose the heat really quick, but in this case that wasn't there. So we're installing our vapor barrier here. The trick with this is you want to cut the old one out, because if you have two full lengths of plastic together, you'll cause condensation in between. So now we're going to join the old and the new, sealing up all the little nicks and scratches from the knife. So what we're going to do now is we're going to prep for our new tub. The new tub is a 20-inch tub, and so our overflow is definitely going to be in a different location. Real easy, just lay it on, spin it around. We want to always scratch and score, whether it's copper, whether it's brass, whether it's ABS, PVC. This here is our tub. This is a Maryland tub. It's a fabulous quality. They have a reinforced skirt with plywood, sprayed on fiberglass, 5 feet, reinforced bars going to the skirt for transferring the load right onto the skirt. I haven't found a more economical quality tub on the market. This is why I'm recommending Maryland. These are all the components of our waste overflow system. We picked this one, it's an ABS system, so you have to do the measuring and get all the heights just right. There are other alternatives out there that are a bit more flexible and adjustable, but for the sake of our client here, we're going to keep our costs down and just make sure we measure correctly. I have a little bit of flexibility, not so much front and back, but left and right. We got our ABS glue here. Stick that on and give it a bit of a turn. And we're going to wait to put the waste overflow, the overflow neck on, because we want to get the tub in place first, and then make sure that we can get that to the perfect location. You can see that the way that this works is, when this is in position, there's not a whole lot of room here to make a mistake. So you put your gasket over top of it, and then the hole in the tub is actually quite large. So you can only be up or down maybe 1/8 of an inch before you run the risk of leaks. So it's got to be exact. So we're going to wait till the tub's in place and level, then we'll determine exactly where we set this. We can reach in behind and do that plumbing after the fact. So we won the battle and got the tub back in position. Gave us a little bit of a fight. That's all right. So now we're just taking our brand new waste here, and we're going to throw a little bit of plumber's putty on there. We're going to put this in, tub tool, and then just tighten this up. So now that our tub is in, it's time to close up the walls. This is what we call our substrate. It's the material that goes behind the tile. It's a little contrary to what's taught on TV nowadays. Everybody's seen the green board, the blue board. Well, we're going to be using a superior quality waterproofing system, which is going to prevent any of this board from ever getting wet. So it doesn't make any sense to invest a whole lot of money in something that's going behind our security system. Squeezing it on. We've ripped everything out. We've changed our water supply. We have our new faucet. We've got a brand new tub. We've got our waste and overflow connected. We have built out our wall. We have fixed our vapor barrier. We've remediated any mold behind the wall. We've closed it all up with new drywall. Yes, and there's a gap here. I know, don't be so judgmental. Here's the issue. I want it tight at the ceiling. This is a bigger issue than here. When I put my waterproofing membrane on, I'm going to fill this with cement and cover it over with a cloth, and it'll be rock hard anyway, so it'll have no cause and effect. We have all of this done, now ready to tile. We're just going to whip up some of our cement. We're using the Curdy membrane from Schluter System. So now I'm applying cement to the wall. I've marked my spot on the ceiling where I want my liable to go to. And because I'm in a hurry, my first goal is to just get a lot of cement on the surface. Everybody has a different technique. It doesn't really matter. The idea is you're not trying to scrape it off the wall. You're just trying to leave a relatively consistent amount on the surface. You don't have to worry about it getting on your fixtures or the tub or your shoes. It'll all wash off. Okay, so this is the Curdy membrane. I'm just using a continuous sheet. We are adhering this membrane, which is waterproof and vapor-proof, to our drywall to make a waterproof wall. It's a really quite simple concept. This membrane will not allow anything in the way of moisture to pass through it, which is why we are able to choose to go drywall on the substrate. And really all we're doing is applying this very similar to wallpaper. Okay, so we're gonna make sure our joint's nice and tight in the corner. Also realize if you look at the damage that was on the wallboard of this original tile surround, it was just starting to mold from 1983. So this stuff here, the differences in the two systems is the old system didn't have a membrane. It was just drywall. And instead of using a cement, they used a glue. And that glue, although it's rated for showers, breaks down over time when it's wet. Back in the 1980s, you had a shower, you got done, you got out. Nowadays we're adding different fixtures, rain shower heads, spa tubs, jacuzzis, all these things that are designed to have people spend time in their bathroom and not be in a hurry to leave. It's like an oasis from all the kids and traffic and busyness of life. So the average shower nowadays is seeing 5 to 6 times as much water every year than they used to. The length of showers are going up, the amount of people in the home taking showers is going up. Bathing culture, switching over to shower culture is huge. So now they have to perform at a higher rate on a more regular basis. So if you double the amount of water going through a shower and it was failing, it won't just become twice as bad. Instead of having a 20 or 30 year shower, you'll have a 5-year bathroom. And that's what we're seeing. Brand new builds, 3 to 5 years in, covered in mold, leaking through the ceiling. This membrane, done according to specs from the factory, comes with a manufacturer's warranty of 10 years. You won't have water getting behind your wall. That's better warranty than any other product on the market. So for tiling, there's a few things you need to know. One is you have to have an idea of where you're going to start. So we usually start on the back wall, and you can start in 2 ways. You can start with your tile in the center, or you can start with your grout line on the center line. And those are really the only 2 options you have. Now, we just applied this membrane 20 minutes ago. And because of the nature of the science of this non-modified cement, I'm allowed to tile right over top of a wet, waterproof membrane wall. Now that is something that most products don't allow you to do. One of the reasons why I love using Schluter so much, because even though I'm only working here alone today, there was enough time to do the demolition, install a new tub, do new water supply, build a new shower, fur it out, waterproof it, and I still got enough daylight to tile it. If I was using any other system, it'd be a 3-day job instead of a 2-day job. These are just little tile spacers. I use them to keep all the lines consistent. I like things being consistent. So this is just a standard offset pattern, 50%, so half over. Nice and simple. It's very pleasing to the eye. The client was looking at different renovation options. One of the ones that they were looking at was one of these companies that come in and they'll put an acrylic liner over top your current tub, which is kind of an interesting concept. And it's because what they do is they have a variety of different molds based on popular designs back in the day. And they'll actually come in and cover your existing tub, put a new drain cover in. Really, and then they just put up an acrylic tile surround, or not tile, sorry, they put up an acrylic tub surround, which is just like a plastic wall for most people. That's what they would think about. Now the interesting part about that is they're able to do that service in one day. Because they come in, they put on their strips of two-sided tape, and then they lay their new acrylic tub inside the old one. They press all that tape into place. They do their silicone work. They put on their wall surround. They do their silicone work, and they're done. Next morning you get up, you have a shower. The only problem is in order to get them in and out in one day, their basic quote is in the 4,000 and change range, which is amazing because they're basically putting in a new acrylic tub, which is what we've done here, and a new wall surround, which is what we've done here, made out of plastic, which is just our waterproof membrane. And they're charging for time and materials what I would charge for 3 or 4 days worth of work. And the only benefit is that you get to have a shower the next day. Everything is old, your mold is still trapped in your walls. All your joints are silicone. It's going to fail because you're in water. And give it another few months and you're right back to where you came from. Now, the benefit is, if it's the only bathroom in the house and you've got to have access to your shower, then it's quick. But if you can find a way to remediate, get rid of that need for that quick turnaround, then you can have all brand new. You get to open the walls, make sure your plumbing is functioning properly, make sure your insulation is still up to snuff after all these years. The mice haven't eaten holes up and down through your walls. You get to make everything brand new again. And you'll have a bathroom that'll last another 30 years instead of another 5. If you have to do that kind of a solution in a bathroom every 5 years, it's $1,000 a year to have a shower. That's expensive home maintenance. So we're all finished with the tile installation. It's been a long day, but worth it. Now all we have left to do tomorrow is we come back in, we move the spacers, clean out all the excess cement, wash down the tiles, grout, have lunch, and put a fan on it for a couple of hours. Then we can come back in and do our finished silicone seal and screw on the finished trims. I figured there's about another 3 or 4 hours work left to do. So day and a half, not bad, quick turnaround. And grouting a tile job is 50% application and 50% preparation. Just get some coverage on the wall. Just pushing back and forth into the grout lines in different directions. New home construction, for instance, uses the cheapest grout that's on the market because the guys that are applying it are getting paid by the square foot, and the warranty is only for 1 year, so pretty much anything that they put on that wall is going to be fine. One of the reasons why everything is done so poorly in new homes because of the way that everybody's getting paid. So if you have a builder and you're putting in custom bathrooms, you really need to make sure what products are being used, and you need to realize that chances are you're not going to get the superior quality installation that you're looking for. So now I'm taking my grout remover tool, moving the extra cement. Now you can see it's starting to dry. It's getting a little pasty. So what I do is I'm just using a damp sponge. There's hardly any water coming out of here. And I'm just going to do circles. Now that we're finished with our tile and our polishing, and it needs one more wash, but we can install our finishing trim now for the plumbing. And you just keep turning it around until it gets nice and stiff. If you get stuck and you can't get it pointing in the right direction, just shove a screwdriver in the end, get a little extra leverage, and then turn it to the point where you want it. while you do that. There you go. Nice and tight. Now the big surprise here is that Mom doesn't know that this has happened. And so she's gonna be home from her trip soon, and it's kind of a gift from her kids to Mom. And this is why we've jumped in to help out and make this affordable so that we can renovate the bathroom for her as kind of a gift to her for all she's been doing. In 2 days, we've completely removed and reinstalled a brand new tub and shower system that's waterproof and brand new. And so we can take our time over the next few days now to take care of the floor, vanity, paintwork, that sort of thing, knowing that the homeowners can still live in this house and use the bathroom. At the end of the day, if you're gonna do it right, strip it back down to the frame, build it all new, because a project like this, time and materials for everything that we've done is just a little less than $4,000. More economical, might take an extra day, but is it really worth it to have the same old junk just hidden behind plastic or to have it all brand new? I'll let you be the judge. Now you don't need to go and build Mom a brand new house to make her happy, all right? I'm a parent, I got 4 kids, and I can appreciate as a parent what it means to give. And moms, of course, are the biggest givers of them all. They sacrifice their entire life to make sure that they can give. They give to their kids, they give to their parents. And in this case, she's my 3rd mother now. This mom was sacrificing her whole life and had never really gotten much back. And so now the kids are old enough, they decided to start stepping up. So Max made it possible to do this project for Mom, which was great. But the real transformation that happened here was, and you know the old adage, when you look good, you feel good. Well, now that the house was getting renovated, just on a small scale, I mean, it was just the shower, right? Now people started to change attitudes. So after that happened, the bug hit the home and everybody wanted to start fixing things up. So over the last couple of years now, the whole upstairs has been renovated. And the best part of it is the master bedroom, which is where one of the other members of the family was living. They pitched in, they got that all renovated, and they surprised Mom, and they moved her back upstairs into her own master bedroom. Now the bathroom is all finished, everything's been renovated, they got new furniture, new flooring everywhere. Now everyone in that home has got a different mindset. They're living in a place that they've got pride in, and so they walk a little taller, that everybody's done the right thing. Now listen, if you honor your mom, everything is gonna go well in your life, all right? There's just no way bad things can happen to people who do good things for mothers. So happy Mother's Day. We're so proud we could share this with you. We'll see you next time. Well, thanks for joining us today. And if you'd like to see the projects that we're doing in the future, hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time we have a new video. Or check out the link over here and you can check out some of our past projects. While you're making that decision, I gotta find a new color.